Following the assault and capture of a secret GLA lab, no doubt remains that the terrorists are engaged in toxin production. The United States believes that a general, codenamed Dr. Thrax, is running the lethal program. Little is known about this elusive extremist, who has also been charged with war crimes by the World Court. We understand there is intense pressure on American intelligence agencies to trace the funding for Dr. Thrax's research. Only by choking off the cash supplied by covert oil supplies can the US hope to cripple the threat of a terrorist army hoarding weapons of mass destruction.
Bravo team, your primary objective is the small airstrip to your south. Secure it for incoming reinforcements. Out.
Roger, SATCOM. Approaching target area.
Airstrip secured, General. Reinforcements en route.
Those are away. Returning to barn. Out.
The intel we retrieved from the secret lab proves the GLA have seized these Iranian oil fields to help fund the nefarious Dr. Thrax. They may destroy them rather than let you recapture them. Beware, General. The GLA have started using booby traps. Use dozers to remove booby traps safely.
Ready for action. On the go. Polished and ready. Scanning for enemy.
Oh, welcome back, General. You could probably tell, but I had enough of playing this mission a long time ago. And, well, let's just run through it. Essentially, we do this weird, like, D-Day paratrooper operation through enemy-held Stinger sites instead of doing it somewhere else. And then we land some very important troops, aka Burton, and then we have to do a lot, actually.
Colonel Burton here. What do you got?
So, essentially, what we're trying to do, or what we have to do, is get Burton to a position north of here, take out a building that essentially calls in reinforcements for the GLA. At the same time, we're going to unlock the several CIA operatives that exist. There's two of them that we're going to come across. The other one on the map is in a different spot, so we can't go get them.
Sniper here.
We clear out this northern spot, then we're going to go through the main defenses, or at least
Colonel Burton here.
one of the main defenses, take out a Scud launcher before it blows up our base, and then use Burton to essentially cheese the rest of the map. This is a particularly annoying mission, especially on the hardest difficulty. You have very limited funds to start with. The idea is that you just want to go around and capture all the oil derricks. But the problem is that by going to the oil derricks, you have to fight there, you have to use money to supplement those troops, capture the buildings, and then defend the buildings, but you won't have enough money to split between defending 3 different locations. Because there's 3 different bridges to your base, and you need to protect them equally, because the northern position spawns stuff, and most people will go through the northwestern building. The enemy has Scud Storms, and you don't really have anything to prevent Scud Storms, or Scud Launchers, I should say, from attacking you. So you have to do like all this extra stuff to prevent the enemy from just wiping you out immediately. We'll see a little bit of how that works later on, but essentially this happens. So at a, I guess we'll call it unspecified time, but it's not really, there's a timer on it, and when that timer hits, essentially yellow, different player on this map, spawns in with just about everything you could hope they didn't. Once that's done, they have a radio station, and that station will generate extra reinforcements for them. So if you don't want any pressure from the northernmost bridge, you absolutely need to destroy this location. I didn't actually realize that they didn't spawn in at the start. I thought I'd have to fight through a lot more stuff with Colonel Burton, but that wasn't the case, which is surprising.
Train for perfection. Let's see what you got.
And, well, play your cards right, and you never have to face a Scud Storm at all, ever.
Colonel Burton. I've seen it all.
Now, if you don't do things just right, you can sometimes trigger enemy Scud Storm or Scud launchers to move in, take out Colonel Burton. There's some defenses or booby traps on the ground, so Colonel Burton can't spot for himself, so he becomes kind of vulnerable in those circumstances. And every so often, you manage to pull a quad cannon, and the quad cannon just absolutely hoses him. But all that said, if you can manage to get Colonel Burton to go in and at least nab certain buildings, the enemy doesn't rebuild whatsoever. Their only location for building or for getting any sort of workers was obviously the command center, but the one supply station they have, and destroying that, they don't seem to rebuild at all ever. But yeah, essentially this map is an entire slog if you're trying to do it the quote-unquote correct way on hard difficulty. I tried just about everything, whether it's building up my base and turtling up really hard, going into the middle section and trying to capture oil derricks while also capturing a mechanics spot to repair my vehicles for free. That didn't work out. There's some defensive like towers or whatever, capturing those and having those provide support didn't work either because they have a weird range limitation.
They will explode if you try to capture or garrison them. Use dozers to remove them.
Also, this also slows you down, is that everything is booby-trapped, and while I like the theme behind it, it does make it very tedious to grab anything.
Always prepared.
Unit lost.
Need a point, ma'am? Taking charge. Army's elite. Building is up.
And because there's so many booby traps, sometimes one booby trap triggers another, which triggers a third one. And depending on what the proximity is and all of that, they just blow up the oil derricks, and a broken oil derrick can't actually ever be rebuilt. So you lose out permanently on funds, which you're always low on.